Hi and welcome back. Today I really wanted to speak to the Divine Feminine and kind of give you an update. That's weird. Okay, but let's go with that. What I wanted to speak about and share with me is something that you probably already have known for a while. I am also very late recording it. Basically, the timing of it compared to probably where I should when I should have, but we are never meant to show up perfectly. We're meant to show up as we are. So here I am and sharing this with me. But welcome to the 5D, the Divine Feminine. And oh gosh, oh, that was heavy. Basically, it is not heavy being in 5D. It is being heavy because all that you have gone through and everything that you have learned, all the things that you have been made to remember, what you of course already knew before, it's just that once you have incarnated as a human, you have forgotten. And it happens each time we come back, right? So now you are remembering, and you have remembered a lot. You have healed a lot. There's a lot you have been, and you are healing for your masculine. And the next step of the journey, it's going to be different, easier, lighter, I hear. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you, God. That's amazing. But it's going to be different in a way where you are no longer required to learn through suffering, which is amazing in on its own. And you should celebrate yourself. You should celebrate your progress. You should thank the source, the universe, however you call it, and all your guides, your spirit guides, all these beautiful beings that are helping you on the journey. Thank you to all mine, for helping you and for guiding you. And you're amazing. It is absolutely incredible the amount of work that you have done. And even though it may not feel like that right now, I guess, if you're listening to it, maybe you're like getting out of that season or that period of time or that leg of the journey or that part of the journey where you have very much been learning through pain and suffering. It sounds horrible, but it is. I mean, it is very heavy. It is very difficult. It is meant to be like that. So this is what we have chosen, and this is what you have chosen, right? You're getting out of this. So you have transmuted like a true alchemist. Thank you, God. So incredibly, and such a huge amount of density that the next part of your journey is going to also require work, but a different kind. So up until, let's say now, you have been healing and you have been breaking the patterns and closing out cycles, which is amazing. And you kind of, let's say, has been made to understand, to remember that like what is important in life and kind of why we're here. And you kind of, either you are completely 100% zoned in into it or zoomed in into that, or you kind of have an inkling about your soul purpose, whether you're completely doing it or you're just starting to immerse yourself or whatever. Like no matter what you're doing, right, you understand that there's so much more to human existence than what society has shown you before, right? So that, oh, we need to have jobs and we have to work for other people and we kind of have to push the system around and around so that it continue working, right? And now you understand that it is not this way. It is an illusion. I don't really like, and I am not going to you will never hear me kind of talk about like, oh, these evils, forces, or like the devil. No, that's just bullshit. I am not gonna say anything about that. But yes, there is a shadow side to everything, because there is a balance of everything. Nothing is necessarily bad or inherently bad. It's just that it's different because it's meant to do a different thing than the light side. So that's all I'm going to say about this. But basically, yes, you have suffered so much and for such a long time. However long it has been, it doesn't matter. For your soul is long enough, right? That now you are going to be learning through love and leading by example. So you living in 5D, right? So you have advanced and you have risen. Yes, you have risen. Oh, suddenly I cannot speak. I'm sorry. Confirmation burp. Your frequency is higher, right? Your vibration is higher. You have raised your frequency. That's what it's called. Sorry about that. That you have now transmuted the density and you have risen to the 5D. You have went through from the 3D through the 4D to the now 5D. Now you're here. And what is being asked of you is to lead by example. And it can be anything and everything that falls underneath that. Despite what people tell you, because this is kind of, well, that's a part of the journey, right? But there's a lot of people in the spiritual community kind of telling like, oh, you need to be doing these huge things for humanity. And that is not true. I mean, sure, if you feel guided to do like very big things, then go ahead and do it, because then that is right for you and for your soul, and you should heed the calling within your heart. But thank you, Source. Every ripple that you create, whether it's helping one single person once a month by showing them your light and showing them the truth, the divine truth of our beings and like who we are as beings, and then just of being, as in not achieving, not trying to like better yourself and being more productive. It's about just being. That is your purpose. And living in 5D is very different to what you have been doing before, because like up until this point, and it's still going to be like this because this is kind of how it works, like once you have no, achieved 5D consciousness, let me just put it this way because this is what I heard, so I'm gonna say that. So once you have risen to that frequency, it's not that you get there and you stay there. It's going to mesh together because everything is meshed together. Just like you have been probably told a million times that healing is not linear. It's not just like taking each step forward and then just going forward. You're gonna take some steps forward and then maybe a step back or a few steps back and then again and again, right? But you're constantly moving upwards, right? So you're raising your vibration constantly, but you will fall back to a certain density or like a certain vibration level, I guess, or certain frequency, I should say, to maybe like repeat a lesson but with your new understanding, and then make a different choice, or just, you know, basically treat the situation differently, or treat yourself differently, or make a different decision, make a better choice, and so on. You understand all of that, right? What the 5D is basically asking of you, so what your higher self wants, is to embody itself. So you are meant to embody the 5D self, well, your higher self, because I mean, not just 5D, but let's say your higher self. Basically, you are meant to embody who you truly are, not only in environments or situations where you feel safe to do so. Thank you, Spirit. That message was for me too. So it is like the up to this point there have been lessons and situations where you had the clarity and you were supposed to, like, you saw very well, almost like if you were to be standing right next to yourself and seeing the situation from the side, where you thought to yourself like, oh, this is yet another cycle of that same lesson, and I know that I'm meant to, like, I don't know, stand up for myself or speak up or break a pattern or make a better choice or this and that, right? And you managed to do that. Well, man, I know that's not the right way to say it. You did it, right? And these lessons would happen more often and more often all the time, because it was training for you to do it all the time. Like, you are meant to be doing that all the time, no matter the circumstances, no matter how much you will be looked down upon or shown away from the group, or how different people will think that you are and how differently they will treat you. Basically, you're supposed to shit on all of that. The task now, I guess, oh, it's maybe not the right way to say it, because you're the feminine, you have no tasks in that way, but what this part of the journey is kind of meant to teach you, what you're meant to do is to embody your higher self. So you're meant to embody all of the truth that you have been made to remember, that you have learned, right? So you knew this, but you forgot because you became a human, right? So let's say you relearned them or remembered. You're meant to act this way, and there will be, and you're probably still in 3D circumstance where you're thinking like, well, I don't want to, or I like, oh, this is not gonna work in this circumstance or with these people or in that situation, or because of this and because of that. And yes, it is true to a certain degree, because you have learned that, well, first of all, we ourselves are kind of like taught, I guess. We do self-sabotage a lot, and we are meant to, like, let's say, grow out of it. Thank you, Spirit. So we are meant to break that pattern within ourselves and kind of trust ourselves and believe in ourselves and bet on ourselves, no matter what other people will think of it. But there are certain circumstances that you may be finding yourself with where you're thinking like, well, but this is bigger than me, or, oh, I don't have the room to wriggle currently that I would need in order to embody my 5D self. And that may be true, but that does not matter that you will not be able. It's that maybe right now you don't yet have the tools, but that's okay, because there are, like, you understand that this is going to be one of the bigger lessons for you, I guess, or like a bigger cycle to close. But there are small ones that you can do, and you're meant to kind of build up, because the more of the smaller ones you do, the easiest it is, because you grow comfortable in saying no to people, you grow comfortable in trusting yourself, in betting on yourself, choosing yourself no matter what people think, and stand up for yourself and being authentic, or authentically you, really, no matter what people will think about it, right? And so this is basically what I am here to share with you right now, is that now because you are in 5D, yes, you do drop down again in frequency because that's just kind of how it works, but you are meant to embody. And that does not mean that, okay, I'm gonna say it in a different way. Because you have been taught to, like, you had to learn to, like, start protecting your energy, start protecting your peace, right? You had to learn or remember to put yourself first, that putting yourself first is never gonna hurt the people that are actually meant to be in your life as a part of your soul group, that want the best of you, because they do understand that you putting yourself first is never going to hurt them in a way that is like bad, I guess, or negative. Because even if there's some, if they do not get the outcome that they wished in the moment, they understand that if it's for your highest good, then it's going to be good for both of you or for all involved and so on, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's a romantic partner or family member or friends or whatever the hell. So because you are to embody that, and there is, like, we think at times that there, or we know that there are certain circumstances that kind of feel that they're out of our reach, so that basically the power of the situation is somewhere else. It's not. Yes, it may look this way because you think that, well, no matter what I do, it's not changing, or I have prayed for this, or I have been trying to manifest a different outcome and it's not happening. Yes, it is not happening yet, but there's like a point to it, right? And no matter how sucky it is to be in the middle of it and thinking like, well, I have no choice, there are some choices that you are meant to do that are smaller, that don't necessarily have to do with that big thing necessarily or directly, but by you, like, let's say completing like the smaller lessons is gonna get you closer to the solution, like for the bigger lessons, right? So if you feel thank you, Spirit, that was also a message for me. So basically, if I could give an example, if you know that, oh, I have this very big health block in my life, and you're thinking like, well, the doctors cannot help me, or they say that there's nothing that they can do, or they tell me to rest, because I'm not talking like about terminal illness right now, I'm just talking about something else. Let's say a skin rash, right? That isn't like super dangerous, it's just some rash, and you think, or eczema, and you think like, wow, this is very annoying, like, why is it still happening? I kind of do what I can and the medication and it's not helping, right? And you think that, well, whatever I do, like my power, I'm trying to do something, but it's not helping. And there's always like more than just one reason for things to be the way they are. But by you doing different things that maybe do not have anything to do with the eczema or your skin problems, right? They are gonna bring you closer to the solution of that. Because the thing to remember is that the more we embody our true selves, the more authentic we are, the more we release the things that don't serve us, whether it's people or situations or patterns or belief systems, right? Whatever it may be, the easier it is for our reality to change. And yes, it is sadly, or not so, but very much it is believing before seeing. So yes, there probably is a lot of frustration that you're feeling because you're thinking, well, I'm doing so many things. Oh, I have healed so much, and I have been closing so many different cycles and learning lessons and healing, and I'm doing things differently, but nothing is yet happening. Things are happening. It's just that there's maybe too little change to what you would desire the change to be currently, but the change has already happened. And I don't mean like, oh, in a manifestation way. It's just that the change has happened. It's just that the outcome that you wish, you're meant to release, because maybe the reality does not look the way you wish for it to. Thank you, God. But it's getting there, just not in the way you thought it's going to look like. But that does not mean that it's not changing. Same thing if you like kind of are in need of help, whether it's financial, or you feel very lonely and you really need, or you feel that you would really like to have people that are there for you. Like, all of these things, you're getting there, right? And it's frustrating to be in the middle of like one of the heavier cycles or heavier lessons, and you're like, well, shut the hell up, right? Because I keep on hearing it, and it's annoying to be told that. It's just that, like, once you're kind of on the other side, yes, you do understand like what it actually means, that things are in motion. It's just that the outcome that you thought that the change would be, or the outcome that you thought would be, it's not. But it's a different outcome. Maybe it is a change, but not as you thought it would be. And there comes like the different lesson where we were kind of taught, and you were taught to surrender, to release the outcome, to allow for things to happen, no matter what it is, even if it's bad, even if it's like absolutely gut-wrenching and life-changing, no matter how horrible it is or how scary it is, let it happen. Because even if it may feel like this, or it may seem this way, there's always cringe. Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna say it, Spirit. Silver lining. And again, I have also been, I can say that I have also been in situations where I've heard this, because my guides have been trying to kind of, help me and push me forward and get me to get out of this very, very dense, heavy energy and like a very negative mindset, right? And I would hear something like this and I would be just like laughing and just being absolutely insulted by it, because what the hell, here I am in this horrible circumstance and you're telling me to look for the silver lining, right? So I get it. But basically, I guess the messages keep on going, and remember that no matter how small these lessons, situations might seem, everything is very important. So each time, even if you think that, oh, how silly that is, or like, oh, this is like not gonna have any impact, like there's maybe like a small situation and you choose to like deny yourself or repeat an old pattern or something, everything has an impact. The more you choose to be authentic you, so when you not hide who you are, what you like, how you are, how you wish to spend your time, what you like, what you dislike, and so on, the closer you're going to get to the solution of the bigger things that usually we kind of drag alongside our journeys, because they are really big, because there's so much packed into those situations. There are many different like aspects to that situation, many different lessons. And so even if we close a lot of cycles, it may not be done at all. So it may be still going on, but that is because there's more to learn from it. Maybe not in the same way, not in the same aspect, but it's kind of connected to the big lesson. So sadly, these big blocks, as annoying as they are needed. Yes, of course. But just keep going. Keep on being authentic, the authentic you. no matter like how silly it may be, or how important the situation, or how impactful that decision or what you say will be. And we all, no matter whether it's the feminine or the masculine, right, we have been very much remembering and learning anew that no matter how weird or how strange or how much, like, no matter how weird we are or how different to our environments, and we twins are always very different to the environments that we are in, at least at that stage of the journey. Like, no matter how like strange people think we are, or how isolated we are, or how people think like how stupid we are, or how different, or like this or that, none of this fucking matters. It is only there to make us understand how little power everything around us has and how much power we have. So this is what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like to work with me, there's information in the description box. If you have any questions, you're free to ask them. I will be happy answering you, and I will talk to you another time. Bye.